Welcome to episode 243. I am Gonzo.
I'm John.
And I'm Meredith.
Welcome to a special guest episode. Today we're going to have Meredith on here as someone that does a lot of vendoring. She works with Dork. She is like a super prevalent actress and got like all these cool IMDb stuff. And she is like super rich beyond belief because, anybody
Yep.
has an IMDb, page
Yep.
is
That's
gotta
me.
be super rich.
Yeah. All those credits. All those credits paying my mortgage. Yeah, good times, good times.
We're going to talk about, so this episode we're going to talk about vendoring at conventions, working at Dork, talking about convention season, also some of the new paint lines and painting hobbies, also her life and what she's done. But before we do that, we got to get to the business. We want to thank Musa on Minis for hosting all of our files and getting it up for everybody so we can have it. Make sure you go and check them out and use the code More Than Dice, and you can get a percentage off of all of the products in their store. We want to thank Parabellum War Games also. Don't forget, you can use More Than Dice there also and get 10% off your first order. If you like good quality miniatures and a good regiment game, they're the people to go to. We also want to thank Dork, one of our sponsors, provides some of the greatest metallic and color shifting paints on the market right now. Make sure to check them out. Maybe I can get them to give us some more gift certificates.
I was going to say, do we not have a mute? Well, we'll have to fix that. We're going to have to fix that.
We were just doing gift certificates for a while.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Midnight Heroes. They are doing some great chibi miniatures, also a great company, and they will be doing a Kickstarter soon. And of course, we'll have them on the show to talk about the Kickstarter when it actually starts to happen, because they're going to be doing an STL Kickstarter for some miniatures, so people can get that stuff pretty quick for a new line that they got coming out. But also don't forget about their miniature game that they have, and they're going to have a surprise miniature for Warfare Weekend only. You'll have to wait and see that. We're working on that file and look right now as we speak. So with that said, let's get to what everybody definitely 100% wants to know. Meredith, what you drinking tonight?
I am drinking a very wonderful cocktail, which is an Adapino liqueur, which is a pine nut liqueur that comes specifically from Santa Fe Springs. Nope, not Santa Fe Springs. Santa Fe Distillery in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I've got an ounce pour of that with a half ounce of Bullet bourbon. And then we have a strawberry hibiscus shrub and a little bit of some bicarb water. Soda water. Sorry. I sound everything's very British in my world. I was raised by wild Brits, but I'm not at all British. So I say dumb things like aubergine and stuff. But yes, I'm drinking a beautiful pine nut and hibiscus cocktail that I made and I've been enjoying for the past month now. So this one drink I've been drinking for a month.
See, Captain Busy, she measures too.
You have to measure your booze. If you don't measure your booze, you're not going to get a good cocktail. Otherwise, just drink it straight. What's the point? Cocktails are an art. Look at the glass. Like if you can see this, I know for those on the audio side, you can't see the glass. See, yeah, just drinking straight. That's fine. Why even put in a glass? Just drink it out of a bottle. I mean, why dirty a glass?
I don't want to look like an alcoholic.
If you're drinking out of a bottle, then you have a problem.
No, you're not. That's the problem. Is you have to do too many dishes. I mean, tell that to me and my bottles of wine.
So, John, what's on the
Yes,
menu
that is
for you
my
tonight?
cocktail for the night.
Mine's much simpler. Mine is just Mountain Dew Code Red, since I still have some left from the Code Fireballs, and that's mixed with Red Stag cherry. I want to call it whiskey. It's not really whiskey, but
Okay.
cherry and whiskey mix. They can't really call it whiskey anymore because it doesn't have enough whiskey in it.
I feel like you need to mix that with some cheer wine too.
Could they have that at the local store? I just don't. I mean, I'm a simple 2 steps in a small glass. Not that small.
It's a big gulp.
I'd give you
It's
the
a big gulp,
measures,
John.
but it only matters in this cup. I measure everything in this cup because that's what I make.
I'm
I've had
going
it. It does
for
blend pretty good, and it's tasty.
Nice.
I'm going for straight Maker's Mark tonight. Nothing else in it. Not a lot. I did have to get my booster Friday, and so Saturday I was like, bleh. So I'm just gonna have a little bit of drinks tonight. So if anybody does like a lot of Hell Hydrates, that's gone, and I just can't participate in it anymore. So,
You could drink water. You should also drink water.
do we have that in the house?
Please drink water. It is very important. There are 3 things I drink in this world. It is water, it is alcohol, and it is coffee. And it is too late for coffee.
I drink 2 of those things.
Yep. No, I just didn't. I was like, I'm just going to stick with a little bit of alcohol. Not much.
I mean, me too. Only a little bit.
Only a little bit, the entire bottle.
It was not the whole bottle. It was maybe half of the bottle today. I've been drinking since, like, I don't know, 10:30?
I thought you were going to say since you were 10.
No, actually, funny story. I didn't start drinking until in my 30s.
Wow. Interesting. My fiance, actually the same way. He didn't start into his 30s either, so.
At a certain point, when we started working for Games Workshop, you realize they're all alcoholics, and then it's just a self-defense mechanism.
Wow. So journalists and Games Workshop employees have a lot in common.
Captain Mizzy says she's drinking dragon's milk, and then Hinton's doing a glass of red wine.
Very nice.
Captain Mizzy also says
Manian's having stomach problems.
Well, Captain Mizzy says she does measure. Half and half is a measurement.
I
It
mean,
is.
It's
Half
technically
alcohol,
a measurement.
half a mix. Yeah, it is. That is a measurement.
Just don't say fuck it. I'm just gonna drink more alcohol till I'm done. That's not okay.
God, this just reminds me of my days as a cosplayer at anime conventions, mixing drinks over a toilet and putting them into like Sprite bottles. I was overage, by the way. I was well over 21, well into my 30s. But, you know, there's photo evidence of a girl that might look like me in a Sailor Moon cosplay making a cocktail over a toilet at a bathroom in a southern convention. Just saying.
Wait, Manian, I actually fulfilled 2 of those 3 criterias. Spoiler, I've never been a journalist.
Aww.
So with that said, what shout outs do we have this week? Anybody got it? Meredith, do you have anybody you want to shout out to this week?
Yeah, I want to shout out to no, there's no one I want to shout out to this week. I want to shout out to my cats for puking all over my rugs today. It was great. Shout out to my keeping it real. My cats are keeping it real. No, yeah, let's do a real shout out. Let's shout out to all the people who are coping with the OGL drama from WotC. Shout out to you. Y'all are real ones.
Oh, that's something we got to cover. That one was really good.
No, we really.
John, you don't want to handle that one tonight?
Do you want to rant? Because I've got like.
Okay.
You said you didn't have a rant, John. Now you have a rant. Look.
I didn't expect you talking about that. My Twitter feed is like OGL nonsense all over the place. Anyways,
No, they did. Yeah, they do not back up from it.
No,
they
they're
didn't.
not.
They doubled down. Like
might have tripled down.
Yeah,
Yep.
like a triple down, like a Arby's triple stack heart attack burger. They tripled down on that.
Actually, Gonzo, I did find a shout out. Adam Rich is an actor. He was a child actor. Did a lot of stuff. He's most known for 8 is Enough, and then also he was Presto the magician on the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
Yeah.
Aww.
He passed on the 7th, so yesterday.
Sad.
Also, a shout out to EMTs.
Yes.
For people who know that the EMTs that helped saved the gentleman's life. I'm going to say this or anything. They're underpaid, underappreciated, and they do put up with a lot of shit.
Lamar Hamlin from the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a scary situation when that went down last Sunday, and the EMTs were right on that. That was
Monday night, yeah, and they were on it.
Or Monday night.
And the NFL made the right decision. And I also want to give an anti-shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers for making fun of the situation during a sack celebration. You classless fuckers.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck that. Fuck that.
I mean, it's the Steelers. I kind of expect
But
that.
still,
but
come
they're
on.
not usually that blatant.
Yeah.
no, fuck that.
So, there you go.
Guys, we appreciate you listening. We appreciate you watching. If you can't join us live, we appreciate you listening to us on the air. I know a lot of people listen to us in their cars, and we appreciate that no matter what. We see the views, we see the listens. We highly appreciate it. Don't forget, if you have something you want us to cover, just send us a message. We'll try to find out, cover. If there's a game you want us to test out, game you want us to review, no problem. If there's a product you want us to review, let us know. I mean, John's super rich. I mean, he can buy whatever he wants. So, we just, let him pay for everything.
Is he talking?
Type stuff. Also, if you are planning to come out to Adepticon, make sure you find me, and Meredith will be there. Give a shout out and come say hi. Maybe if you come and see me, I might have something to you. If you tell me you listen to More Than Dice, might have a product to give to you. If not, we'll worry about it later. From all of us, please be healthy. Please be safe. If you see something going on, say something. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Whew.
You're almost done there, Gons.
Yeah, I didn't put a lot in there today.
You can always add water. Water it down.
No, negative.
No,
Or just have the water afterwards.
Yeah.
There you go. I'll have the water afterwards. I mean, I'll have the water and fish food ice cream after I'm done with this.
Didn't have to add ice cream. I just want to think about you eating fish food. I think that's great. I just want to see you putting those little flakes in your mouth. That's
you don't put them in your mouth.
fantastic.
You can put them in the water and then drink it. That'll
There
work
you go,
too.
right? Live your best fish life, Gonzo. Come on.
Now, there's this ice cream I love the shit out of it. It's called Fish Foods by Ben & Jerry's. It's chocolate, caramel, marshmallow, and little chunks of chocolate fish. It is like so bad for you, but it is so good.
And I haven't had ice cream in a long time.
Oh, I love ice cream.
Oh, I am on a me and ice cream cannot share the same space at the moment, but I love ice cream so much. At some point, you have to accept that you actually have a dairy allergy, right? At some
Yes.
point, maybe.
Well,
You don't
my
have to
Lauren
accept
does,
it.
And sometimes
Yeah.
he just goes and eats the ice cream and then says, I'm just going to fucking deal with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of me too. Like, yeah. So, but we're trying.
My glu-
New year, new
my-
you.
My gluten-free friends are the same way. Sometimes just like, fuck it, I'm just going to have gluten. I'll deal with
Yeah.
it later.
I know. That's how I feel about mac and cheese.
Oh, Hinton B had some Americone Dream, which
Ooh, I got
is
some of that.
another
Ooh.
very
Heck
good
yeah.
one.
I got some of that in the freezer too.
And now,
the- actually-
what's the cookie dough brownie one that Ben and Jerry's
Oh, yeah.
does? That's
That
my
one's
favorite.
good, too.
That's my jam.
We never
I'm,
go
I'm
off
kind
on
of simpler. I usually just go to the local supermarket that has their own brand, and I buy their chocolate marshmallow because I like two things in life, and it's chocolate and marshmallow.
Very good. No, you know what Missy says there are dairy-free ice cream options. There are, but that's not real ice cream. I mean, really, why put something that's inferior into my body if I'm gonna gain the weight from it anyways? I'd rather have the stomach ache to go with it. No, I actually used to be vegan for 7 years. It was a wild ride of my life. And most of the vegan ice cream options are just coconut based, and it's like everything just tastes like coconut, which is great
Yeah.
if you want a pina colada, but I'm not in margarita.
If you like pina coladas.
Exactly. Wow, I just like referenced two different genres of music or two different bands, but that's fine. That's what I do.
Exactly.
So I guess I am assuming Gonzo is painting, but this is where we just see the part of his head while he paints. Is this the part of the program?
That's why we keep the stream up normally, so I can see that he's painting the blackjack now.
Oh, I see. That's why we
technically
look
the
at the delay. I understand now. Oh, look at that, Vance.
So, with that, Meredith, you are our special guest. And while I'm going to be
Special,
painting a blackjack and working on this stuff for Adepticon, because this is one of the last models I have to paint for Adepticon. Who are you and why are you super rich and have an IMDb page?
Well, obviously, I have an IMDb page because I'm super rich and I paid for it. I mean, duh, that's how everyone does it. No.
Does it have a blue check mark?
Yeah, but it says this person may or may not be important because they were verified before the system came. Or what does it say? No, this is a legacy verified account. It may or may not be
played.
notable.
Well played.
Yeah. Hi, who am I? I'm a person that agreed to be on this podcast because I can't say no, apparently. No.
I
No,
know the
I'm really
feeling.
happy to be here. Yeah, I'm Meredith. I currently am the CEO of Turbo Dork. We make fun and metallic paints. We do the weird, shifty, and bright, shiny, super metallic paints. It actually is. I mean, while I'm the CEO, the company truly belongs to my fiance, Greg DeStefano, who created and founded the company 5 years ago because he wanted a purple metallic to paint an Emperor's Children army. Fun story, that purple metallic exists in People Eater. That Emperor's Children army still hasn't seen the light of day. So, and I often think the company succeeded out of spite, as all the best things do, because at the time I was a talk show host. We were living in Los Angeles. I was a on-air talk show host, working for TYT, Comic Book Resources, comicbook.com, IGN's sister site, geek.com. Greg was a commercial celebrity entertainment photographer, and I said to him, "Don't quit your day job," because of course the idea of shooting celebrities is glamorous and great. Um, yeah, so 5 years later, this is our day job, and actually, I couldn't be happier. It's weird to think that I left a 20-year career of journalism. That's what I did for 20 years. I was a producer, I was a writer, I was on air. I worked for NBC Network News. I worked for NBC local affiliates. I've worked digitally. I've written for papers. I've somehow appeared in films. That's the IMDb thing. You'll see one is a little short film called 222. My friend Stephen Shea was one of the first short films he did, and he needed some background people at a goth club where you could usually find me on a Saturday night in Orlando when I was in college. And so, yeah, I was a background vampire dancer. And then some of the other credits I think on there are actually from some of the more nerdy stuff I did. I appeared in a Library Bards video. Library Bards are a wonderful duet of Bonnie Gordon and Xander Jeanneret, and they do nerdy parody songs. And I was Black Widow in one of their parody videos. But I think the credit I'm most proud on that thing is Self appearing as Self. No, a couple years ago. One of my dear friends and Greg's mentor, Dan Winters, an amazing photographer, wanted to dabble in short films, and I get a call. This is in 2017, and he calls me up and he says, "Hey Meredith, I'm working on a short film." I'm like, "Cool, awesome, that's great, have fun." He's like, "Yeah, I would love you to be involved." I was like, at the time, I do a lot of costume design. I used to cosplay, and it's just like a hobby of mine. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe he wants help with costuming. And I was like, yeah, anything you need, I'll design it for you. I'll sew it. Don't worry, I got you. He's like, no, I want you to star in it. And I'm like, no. So yeah, you want me to make the star's costume, right? And he's like, no, I want you to be the main character. And I'm like, yeah, but Dan, I'm not an actress. And I'm like, I'm the only person who moved to LA to not be an actress specifically. And he's like, yeah, but I kind of wrote this with you in mind. So you're going to start taking acting classes. And that was a beautiful passion project that took up 3 years of my life. And I don't know if anyone will see the film, but it's a beautiful little sci-fi romance dystopian film. And that is probably why I actually have an IMDb, because of that project with Dan. And not because I pay $25 a month to have IMDb Plus.
Cool.
Awesome.
That's me in a nutshell.
So you've been doing the Turbo Dork stuff, and just recently you had come to Warfare Weekend, which I was glad that y'all came. I've been looking forward to having y'all there.
We had so much fun.
I'm glad. There's certain things I like, and having fun is our major one.
Hey, that poke place 10 minutes down the road, tops. Anyways, yes, we were at Warfare Weekend.
And one of the things that came up is, besides you doing the paint line, y'all brought a special product, and y'all actually sold that more than pretty much paint. What was that thing that y'all sold?
So a couple years ago, Greg had an idea that he wanted a silicone paint palette. And because, we all have these plastic or glass paint palettes, especially those little cheap plastic ones for $1.50. They build up with paint and you have to scrub them out or you just throw them away. Exactly. Just like what you see on screen. But the reality with something like that is it will generate waste. Even if you use it for a year and build up paint, you throw it away. So one of the big things with Turbo Dork is we very much are very sustainable. Like, yes, we're making acrylic paint, but how can we make it sustainable and ethically? We wanted to come up with a silicone paint palette. So Greg had this idea, And he worked on it for years. And then I finally said, cool, we're going to do this. And then I made it happen. And now we have I wish I had one with me. I actually don't allow any painting at the house. We have a new house and I won't let paints in here. But it's, you can get it in white or black. And we have a little, do you have any on you, Gonzo?
No, I did not get any. I was not able to. When I went to go try to get one, y'all had already closed up shop because, of course, you know me, I don't get to.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Well,
Yeah,
they're on the website.
and mine's just
We have
still in the
videos.
shopping cart.
Yeah. Well, we can fix that. We can fix that. But yeah, so you can buy one in black and white. We have a little 4-pot one and a larger one that you can have 8 paints plus a little mixing thing in between. And really what it does is when your paint dries, you can pop it out. But it's specifically meant for your contrast paints, your metallic paints, paints that you can't use on a wet palette. Because obviously, you can do your regular opaque paints on a wet palette, but God forbid you start to put your Turbo Dork metallics, anyone's metallics, not just ours, or your any of your contrast, instant, potion, pot, easy, express paints. You don't want to use those on a wet palette. So in the silicone palette, you can do all that in there, and we even have little wells that you can bring them up, and if you want to blend, because I love blending colors, I love playing with colors, and then you let it dry within however long the paint takes to dry. You go pop. And it's clean. It does attract cat hair, as silicone products are wont to do, or any hair, but really cat hair. Oh, is that a posture check? Is that on me? Yeah, that's me.
It's everybody.
Yep, sorry, that's me. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm really proud of it. Sorry, I talk a lot. I get really excited talking about things Greg designs. He's very smart and very cool.
Well, that's a fight. That's the reason why you're on here, so you can talk about that stuff.
No, so that's a good product because I have technically speaking 3 palettes over here. None of them are fully clean, and I hate having to clean them because the easiest way to clean them is not to actually wash them, is actually to take your PVA glue, get it thin, and just brush it over the whole thing, then peel everything off. But you're taking a step out of that and less waste again.
Yeah, and just regular dish soap and water cleans it, so you don't even have to do any harsh cleaning for it. So I was really happy to see that brought to market, and it's one of those things that the prices, they are hand poured, handmade. We had them prototype. They're made here in America. There's a one individual who makes all of them. Wonderful guy, Caleb. It's one of those things that we would like to maybe make on a larger scale, but we have a very level of ethics. I'll be real honest. I don't want to bring something to overseas necessarily and mass produce it. One, you risk it getting knocked off, but 2, but we are looking at hopefully to do a larger production run here to hopefully bring the cost down. But right now, if you do, yes, it's $25 for the low one, $40 for the larger one, but you are actually paying someone like a living wage to make these. So
yeah. Plus, it seems like a lot until you really think about how much you may have spent on pallets through the years.
Exactly.
Now I'm weird, and I have the same 2 of the same 3 I bought way back when. I've had these for probably a decade, but still,
nice.
If you use the cheap ones, then you're going to get rid of them frequently, and why not have a good one that works better?
Exactly.
I'm all for that.
So
Gonzo's needs to be smothered in PVA glue.
Yeah, this one is. You're right. I buy these little plastic ones that you get from Walmart. They're like $2 or $3 for 3 of them or whatever. And by the time it gets to roughly around this thing, I'm chunking it in the trash.
Yeah,
because there's not much you can do with it by then.
Exactly.
You can. You just got to work at it.
Yeah, but
it's all time. You can get it clean. You just got to spend the time.
Yeah, but I don't want to spend the time on a $3 piece of crap or $1 something piece of crap.
Exactly.
That's also another sneaky thing about a higher price thing is you take care of it more because it costs you more.
Correct.
Yeah. So that was the fun little thing, and we were actually going to debut it later, but we had a couple prototypes, and we're like, let's bring it out. We liked Warfare Weekend enough. The people were fun enough. We're like, let's do this for them. They were really cool.
Oh, nice. Well, I know that you and I were talking about it, and it came out, and you were like, "These things are selling really well, and people are really liking these." And I was like, I didn't even know what they were until that y'all had them until you started talking about it, and I was like,
"Yeah, No, we hadn't even launched anything about it. It was like a true soft launch at Warfare Weekend, and we sold more of those, and we did paint, which it's a catch-22. You go to a show where people know your product and they use your product, but paint, you don't need to buy paint that often. Like maybe your blacks and reds and whites and yellows. So it's nice to we're learning to diversify. Like what other products can we bring to market that no one else is really doing. We love to innovate on things. We love to come up with solutions to problems. I don't need to reinvent certain wheels if something good already exists. I want something that's going to, make people happy. Because at the end of the day, like Greg and I are nerds. He wanted, when he started Turbo Dork and he put he came up with 16 colors and he put them online. His kind of hope was well, maybe some friends will buy them and I can buy some more of my gray shame. And we've really lucked out that this has become a career, a job, a passion, a livelihood for us. But at the end of the day, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't love it and love the community and love what we do. So it's kind of neat. I'm just going to say, love being
used to make more cool metallics like Life on Mars, which is my favorite.
I love Life on Mars. Yeah, we've got some. I've been actually last week. We started R&D again, so we've been cooking up some new stuff. I'm pretty excited. I can't say too much, but I will say I am excited for anyone who has a VIG bag at Adepticon. Let's just say that.
Ooh, I got one.
So we'll say that.
I got a VIG at Adepticon.
Yay, I know. God, that was so stressful. It was like San Diego Comic-Con all over again. And we're vendors, so we have a space, but just I wanted to sign up for painting classes today. Gone. All of them gone. Completely gone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think Zambi said on Twitter that hers sold out super duper quick.
Yeah, same with Sean McAfee. I saw he sold out all of his. I'm just hoping to even get some FaceTime with some of these people. I just want to give a high five to Lil Legends. That guy's so dope. I love his work so much. He's inspired.
There will be plenty of times that you could get and hang out with them because I'm sure they'll come to the painting area, come to Fort Wapple and hang out at Fort Wapple.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet the Wapples. I've only recently gotten to know of them.
I don't know if they're going to make it this year.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
But that's where that's where all the artists hang out. So you can hang out there. And nice. The vendor hall's closed. And a lot of people just hang out there to get drunk and hang out.
Nice. Very nice. But yeah, so that's the big Turbo Dork product launch from last year. So I don't know. There's stuff going on for this year, but it's all in development.
Talking about that, going to conventions and stuff, there's been, convention season technically has started up, and LVO has started up. What conventions are y'all planning on going to?
Oh, us?
Yes, Turbo Dork.
Okay, so we've got Las Vegas Open at the end of the month, coincidentally in Las Vegas. Then I'm off for a month because I'm having eye surgery. I have misaligned vision, so we're doing eye muscle surgery, fun stuff. Then I believe March is Adepticon, and we've got Gamma, which is a B2B trade show. That's in Reno, and then we'll hopefully be back at PAX Unplugged. That was a brilliant show. Maybe we'll be in St. Louis. I don't know. I can't confirm to that. So we're testing the waters with conventions. Really, we considered our convention season started with Warfare Weekend in November. Because we've had a show every weekend since. We haven't really done shows, and we want to see if it's even something that's profitable for us. Now, profitable doesn't mean making a ton of money, but it means at least breaking even and getting to talk to people and connect. So far conventions have been very good to us. And then I'm actually not even working at LVO. I'm going strictly for painting classes. Greg will be vending. His best friend's coming out to help him run the booth, but I'm actually just going simply to learn at LVO.
Awesome.
Yeah. But
let me know if you make it to Nova Open. That's my backyard.
Yeah, we've thought about doing Nova. Atlantis Comics and Games, Atlantis Games, they sell for us at Nova.
Okay.
Yeah, but we've thought about if we do go to Nova, we'll just go and maybe drop in at their booth and just hang out. So
Well, let me know. I can make an appearance if that happens. I
Heck
don't usually
yeah,
go to
yeah.
Nova so much. I'm not so much tournaments anymore.
Yeah, I'm a filthy casual. Like I'll be real honest. I am starting to think about entering maybe painting competitions because I've really
Cool.
been enjoying that. But I haven't. It's funny. In the preamble, you all were talking about games you've played. Um, I'm happy if my Pathfinder group meets once a month. I can't tell you the last time I've played a freaking tabletop game. I mean, when I lived in Los Angeles, I had an AOS group that I played with, and it was only because I paid money into it, so it committed me to go because it was what do you call that? A league,
Yeah.
That's what they call it. But I don't get to play many games. Maybe I played Boop. Boop's really cute. It's a cat game. It's
I was
really
gonna
I
say last time I got
recently,
to play a role playing game, but
I actually purchased Booped for Captain Mizzy and Erica as a Christmas gift.
Oh my God, I hope they've gotten to play it. We had so
No.
much fun. It was like the number one selling game at PAX Unplugged, we found out. So, but yeah, the convention circuit has been crazy. So, a little history about myself. I may have mentioned I used to cosplay. I used to love cosplaying. I was one of those kids who would like probably spend more money on costumes than I would on food for myself and go to anime and pop culture conventions cosplaying, and I loved that. And so I've attended conventions as a fan. Then I got to the really cool point where I was an invited guest as a cosplayer and as a MC. Like I've been at San Diego Comic-Con. I've done Emerald City. Puppers is barking.
It's TJ.
Aw. And I've been really grateful in my actual like professional career to be invited to host main stage or live streaming events. Now I'm on the complete other side of things as a vendor. And that actually, I'm gonna be honest, is kind of the coolest. Because as a vendor, there's not a lot of expectations on you. Everyone wants to be your friend because you have something cool that you want to sell, and you just get to be a nerd. Like I forgot, I was actually probably a little bitter on conventions for a while, just because when you go hard in that fandom, it can be a little bit of rough life, and not everyone's the greatest person. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do conventions. If we're showing, maybe I'll just sit it out. But it's reignited my love for fan events again. And the gaming world itself is something I'm new to going to those shows, and the people have surprised me, and not in a bad way. Maybe at LVO it's in a bad way, but the other shows I've done, it's been pretty good.
I don't even think LVO will be a bad way. Most of those guys there are okay. I mean, like I'll make fun
Oh
of
no,
tournament
2020,
players.
2020 was like, I'll talk to the man in the booth, and I'm like, cool, you want to talk to him about a color I created, but have fun, buddy.
So as I said, I work in customer service, and unfortunately, that's prevalent. I've worn my two newest hires are both military wives. I said, look,
Mm,
sometimes people are just not going to listen to you. You're going to transfer them to me. I'm going to tell them word for word what you just said, and they're suddenly going to be okay.
yeah,
I hate it, but it's the fucking way of the world, unfortunately, and I can't change it from here. But it is
yeah.
stupid and dumb.
Yeah, but so that's why I think also why I told Greg, I'm like, if I go to LVO, I'm taking painting classes. I don't want to deal with the CS side of things.
That's fair.
But but look, that's also not my vibe. Like
Yeah.
I love the folks that run, like everyone that we've dealt with at Las Vegas Open have been fantastic. I love Kicker and everyone, but like the fandom, hey, I get it, man. You know what? I'm not here to play your games either, so it's fine. I'll go win another $400 at blackjack like I did last time.
Well, there you go.
So we were going to talk about. So you've been talking about role playing games and getting your
Mm-hmm.
group together, so on and so forth. And John and I are big role players also. John and I both run a lot of games. Are you typically the someone that runs the games, or are you typically the people that get to play? Because John and I, we don't hardly ever get to play.
No.
I
mean,
have actually never gotten to run a game. Always the player, never the GM.
I'm going to give you some controversial advice. Don't start running a game unless you absolutely fucking have to, because then you will
No,
never be
that's
able to
actually,
stop.
yeah. I don't say that actually with a lot of disdain. I
No.
love playing. I again, not an actor, but I love playing
My,
characters.
My last game got basically crushed by COVID, so and that was the only time I'd gotten to play in like 3 years. So it's
Oh
been
man.
many, many years. I mean, I run games and all, so I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
As I like to say in my C-3PO quote, "It's my lot in life. I was made to suffer."
Aw. Yeah, I've never played Pathfinder. This is my first, and we're doing 1E. We're not doing 2E. It's a little rules heavy, but luckily our GM is not.
Yeah, 3.5
Yeah.
was a bit rules heavy, and Pathfinder is based off that. I've never actually
Yeah.
played Pathfinder, but yeah, I understand.
Yeah. I mean, I've been playing D&D since Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So it is very, you're right, it's very 3.5, but I'm loving it. I love our DM is created his own world. We pray to Nagash, you
Wow.
know. So he obviously has a lot of 40K love in there, but it's been fun. But it's it one of our players still works in the photography and film industry, so it's always working around travel. And then now that
Schedule, yeah,
conventions, yeah,
yeah.
but it was really nice. So we played last night. We were playing again in a week. Normally we play every other week, but I'm like, no, we haven't played in a month and a half. We're playing every night we can until we have to go to Vegas. So
No, that's good. That's a good idea. When you've got the opportunity, do it.
yeah, and I'm playing for the first time ever a support. I've never played a cleric or any sort of support healer character, and she's fun. She's really fun. Um, we're playing an evil campaign, so she's an evil cleric, and we
Oh,
have dead already that we can raise. But it was nice to kind of use my channeling energy last night to like beat up a bunch of rat folks. So
so it's funny. The last fantasy I did, I actually ran a fantasy game. It started off as Genesis, which is Fantasy Flight's game system, and then that didn't really work as was we wanted, so we switched it over to another system. But they were heroes. One of the guys was actually a necromancer. Had written this whole story like, I would be a necromancer, and here's my idea that, we're doing this because the dead can do all the menial tasks the humans don't want to. And I'm like, you know what? Let's roll with that.
I feel like that is how my DM sees things. Like he's having us like we had to like pledge to this new god Nagash, and basically we're raising dead. I'm like, I don't know if I like where this is going, but it is nice to have a giant rat ogre to carry these chests for us.
Like for a couple sessions, the best party member, or one session, was the undead troll they raised that just wrecked everything in its
Yeah.
path.
Yeah, Greg raised this rat ogre last night who's got claw bite claw, and I'm like, don't get rid of him, keep him. He's the MVP of this group. So I know. And then now we're planning a one shot with one of our workers. She's gonna GM a one shot, and I'm pretty excited because that'll be in 5e. And Greg's never played like traditional D&D, and I haven't played a 5e since it came out. So
I haven't played D&D since 4th edition, so.
yeah. Yeah, I used to go hard on Eberron, was kind of my jam. So
That was a cool one. I never got a chance to, but it was cool. I was always I want to be a Dragonlance guy, but as we all know, Dragonlance is really, really difficult to run a game in because it's hard to make the PCs feel like they're doing something.
I know.
Because the best time to run it is War of the Lance, because there's interesting stuff. But at the end of the day, you're not doing the things.
I know. Unless you're actually role playing the major characters. Yeah. I mean, I actually so I love Dragonlance. That's kind of my
I'm actually
love
currently
song.
rereading it, so.
Same. Yes, Greg and I are redoing the audiobooks when we travel. And yeah, like I don't, I'm really happy to see the IP regain again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. But at the same time I have zero interest in playing a large scale war faction like that.
Yeah, it's you need a really, really good game master to run something like that. So we always did a lot of Forgotten Realms and stuff, and I've had my own fantasy world. I think every GM eventually ends up with their own fantasy world just to do what they want. But I think actually our next game, just to give people a spoiler, if you want to see my elevator pitch for our next campaign, go watch the intro for the old cartoon called Thundar the Barbarian. That's the elevator pitch for my next campaign.
Oh, sir, that is going to be fun.
I hope so. I mean, it's going to make my players do a little more work, and one of them is willing to do the work. Two of them, one of them in the chat room, doesn't seem to be interested in doing as much of the work and stuff. He's there to hang out and have fun. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Manion. Straight up. But we'll see.
Talking about the Dragonlance, I did get the new campaign book that came out and have been
That
reading through
is,
that. I originally thought that I wanted to play in it, but of course, GMs, they don't ever get a chance to play. They're always running stuff. And you're always starting out. In this campaign, you start out at first level, and you're actually doing a side part of the story. So you're not in the major part of it. But it actually been pretty good. I've only read like the first 5 levels because you get to play. You don't level per points. You level per doing stuff, and they tell you they need to be level 2 at this
It's
point.
milestone rather than
correct.
The milestone's a good idea, actually.
Yes, and it's great for
a big
this.
idea.
yeah.
And so I was looking through this, and it actually was done pretty well. What I did find very interesting about this is I was reading the book and I was looking at the pictures, and I had that epiphany that, crap, I have not seen art like this in a long time, or ever, I should say, not a long time. A female armored character that's not wearing a bikini armor. She's wearing full Solamnic knight armor.
Oh, you mean Jeff Easley didn't do all the art for the book?
And she's an older lady. And, I'm seeing different races, different ethnicities. And, it was just, and there was actually a picture of 2 men kissing at a carnival. And I was like, it just kind of threw me back. I mean, for me, we're all accepting of this, but I'm just like, it's still, I don't see it so often that it's still kind of a shock when I see this, and I'm like, wow. And it was really cool. And I text a couple people saying, hey, dig this and stuff. But going into the book and reading in it, they did really well with the Dragonlance world that they've got. The characters are definitely Dragonlance feel. Of course, they include Kinder in there. And then the 2, the mages and the 3 different robe colors and different things. I haven't finished reading the whole thing yet because I'm thinking that if my people at my work want to run and do a D&D campaign, I thought this would be perfect. I don't have to do a lot of work per se, but it's something that's compact. It's a world they don't know. Nobody knows it, and they're brand new, so it wouldn't be like a big shock to them to not have, why isn't there, XYZ races in this? Because they don't know.
And you could look at the timeline and see some of the side things that happen and have them be the characters that do that.
Exactly.
Correct.
Like, if you go between book 1 and book 2, like, there's a whole thing about how the Hammer of Paris is found.
Yes.
And they don't go into it all, and they actually cover part of that in some of the other books.
Yeah, and that would be a fun that would be a fun campaign in itself.
You can do all sorts of. You just gotta really get into the setting and figure out where their opportunities are. It's tough. It's not easy.
Yeah, Dragonlance, while it is a great world and I love it to death, it is a very hard to be, like you said, John. You can't.
It's also kind of low fantasy, which is kind of the anti D&D.
And the thing is you're not the center of the story in this. Whether you like it or not, you're not the center character.
The thing is, you just got to scale the story right so they seem like the center, right?
Correct, and that's what this campaign does.
Like the characters in Rogue One aren't the center of the story, but they can feel like it.
Yeah, like Rogue One is like one of the best things that's come out of the Star Wars universe ever, in my opinion. But you really get to see the scale of like what one small ragtag team can do to the overarching good of a story. And I think if someone's going to run a successful Dragonlance campaign, that's how they need to be someone, honestly, I don't want to gatekeep, but if you love the lore and you love Dragonlance, you will know how to run a very successful Dragonlance campaign.
Yeah. It's going to require a lot more work than some of the other games. You can't, unlike the average game where you can wing it, you can't wing this. You got to be ready.
Yeah.
And in reference to your other stuff, Gonzo, for all of their many faults, Wizards of the Coast is very, very, I'll use the term, woke.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I describe myself as woke, and I don't care if anyone thinks that's a negative.
But okay, let's just go into this right now. Here's the thing: the people on the ground level at Dungeons and Dragons at WotC who are doing the writing, the editing, the character and world design are fantastic people. They know it, they love it. They're hiring passionate people who love what they're doing. But you have these executives who are coming from the video game world, who are coming
From
from,
Hasbro.
from Hasbro again, and also their new VP coming from the video game world. They're so out of touch, and all they see are the dollar signs. They want the microtransactions. They want to make all the money.
They
Like
see
it's
that sweet Critical Role
yeah.
money, and they like, we want some of this.
Well, they already have it. Cool.
I know.
That's, yeah.
They don't realize, but it's
Yeah.
Well, there was a quote from the CEO that says D&D is under monetized, and that just gives you all the idea that you need to think about.
So
Yeah.
I know where you're going, Gonzo. Let's just address the elephant in the room of the OGL. And I have a lot of opinions on it, and they're varying. And the first is that the OGL was necessary for D&D survival when it came out, but the way it was written was, you can tell that no one higher up took a look at that fucking thing. They let was it Chris Darcy just do his fucking thing, like, oh cool, go do your thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
And like, from a corporate standpoint, that is not something you ever fucking do. They literally ended up creating their own worst enemy. Yeah. That would be Pathfinder, for those of you at home.
Yeah.
And while I think what they're trying to do with revoking something that was meant to be unrevoked is ill-advised at the very least, skeezy, maybe.
Corporate.
If they can legally do it, look, I know you guys are raging. Don't stop raging about it, and don't get on the WotC employees' case.
Yeah.
They can't control it. If it's legally possible, they'll do it because they're a fucking company. And I'm here to tell you, you get Meredith doing stuff that she loves, but she still has to look at the bottom line. If she can't make a living going to cons, she can't go to cons. That's the harsh reality of it. And if they can't keep D&D going without doing something stupid like this, then maybe they can't. Now, I think they can, but
I think they can. I think they just want to make. I think what you said, you hit the nail on the head. Is they see the money coming in from certain actual play shows that are driving the industry, getting their own animated television shows where, like, their own movies have failed, and they want that money, and they realize that the licensing worked out by certain companies. They're not going to see that dime, so what they're going after are all these other people who honestly are never going to be that. You have this once in a lifetime thing that happened organically from a group of friends that happened to be in the right place at the right time with the right fan base
and the right skills
and you're never going to see that.
Exactly.
You're never going to see that.
And all the people are worried about, like, oh, I don't like this. If I make $75,000 or more, they get a cut of my profits. Unless you're a creator, and a good creator, you're not going to make that much money in a year.
You're not. I thought it was $750,000.
I think it was $775,000. I don't remember. Whatever the number is.
Yeah.
Whichever
So
number
either
is
way,
still
you're
high
not.
enough that you have to be good.
Yeah.
And if you're that good, I'm here to tell you, you probably don't really care that much.
If you're that good, you're going to create your own game, not based on someone else's IP. Like at the end of the day.
And there are plenty of other games out there that are great.
Yeah.
Plenty of games.
And anyone who is watching or listening to the show and is worried about your actual play content being monetized, that's not it. The OGL license, the most recent leak, the 2.0 leak, is specifically dealt with published material. It's not talking about your fan products, your actual plays, your streaming games. It's not about that. It's actually about if you create a world within, or like a system within the Dungeons and Dragons using whatever they consider proprietary licensing, that is where you're going to start seeing the monetization on. Now, for your streamers and for everyone else, what you need to worry about is, so something that came across my feed today was that, I guess in preparation for D&D 1, WotC sent out some swag to prominent streamers. There was a dungeon screen, a dice tray, a counter, and they were actually copied off of other people who have their own Etsy stores. And that is what you're going to have to really be the real. And this is, any company is going to do this to you, and it sucks, Hell, Turbo Dork, we've been copied. Trust me, I know it happens. If you do something really good, it'd be great if you got the recognition and the ability to make it for a company. But the reality is they're going to just take a picture of it and send it to their factory and have it done, and that sucks. Yeah. And that is where I challenge people, like, make cool accessories, but do not make them game exclusive if you can, because a dungeon screen will be good for anything. Yes, you want a fantasy dungeon screen, make a sci-fi dungeon screen, but don't look at D&D as a way to make an income right now, because oh, sorry, go on, John.
It's like, because really at the end of the day, and I hate to put this bluntly, you are literally making money off of their IP, and of course they want a piece of that.
Yeah.
And like the OGL was a boon for everyone. It is way more generous than anything ever should have been. And it did kickstart D&D. I was working at Alliance Games Distribution when D&D 3rd edition came out, and it kickstarted stuff. There was immediately third-party product on the shelf. It was great for that. It got stuff going, but it also ended up being the dark side a little bit because it caused some problems. But it was good for you for years, and you've got to look at any company is going to look at that and go, this is not sustainable. People are making tons of money off our IP. We need to get part of that because that's how the corporate world works.
And that's how really, I mean, it's how the world works, like
Yeah.
whether you like it or not. I mean, and here's the other thing, and as you two are older than me and have been in this industry, WotC does this. WotC does really good with something. They get a lot of attention, and then they shoot themselves in the foot. It always happens. Yep. We've seen this. I've seen it in my lifetime 3 times before. And that's what we're doing. We're seeing that pendulum. It got really popular. Now they're going to kill their own IP again. And the problem is I look at games like, say what you want about Games Workshop, say what you want about WotC. If these companies are doing well, everyone who makes a living on this space is doing well. And those are the bellwethers. Those are the companies that we need them to succeed for all of the rest of us to rise. And I hate to say it. I hate that that's the fact. But I mean, I've been working in this industry, for 30 years now, 20 plus. I don't want to age myself too much, but yeah, we've seen it. We've all seen it. John.
Sorry, it froze. Oh. My thing froze.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, you make good points, and actually, it's funny that you say that. That my old podcast, with John, we used to say all the time that a healthy Games Workshop was good for the miniatures companies. Mm-hmm. Because it's the gateway drug. D&D is the gateway drug for no matter how much you want it to not be. It is the gateway drug for role playing games, and them being healthy and doing well is good for everyone. Yes, yeah. Certain people may get hurt, and yes, it is stupid, and they should find a better way to work with their content creators and the people who have helped make them that big. But at the end of the day, they're a company. They don't fucking care. Companies. You look at a company like this person's evil. No, company's not evil. It just is. It is a giant machine for making money, and whatever it needs to do for making money.
And and that's something I again I get, but also like having been on so many facets of this side, I really wish companies would start to see the value in what I call micro influencers, like your people who are making custom dice, custom, gaming gear, custom, even the smaller actual play people. Like you've got the mega, and this I will say across the board. I don't care what industry it is, gaming, cosplay, fashion, travel. Your mega influencers are not going to bring the people you think are bringing to the table. Those people have their fans, and their fans are rabid for them and what they do. Your micro influencers, your white knights, your champions, whatever you want to call them, you want to support those people and help them grow because they will bring you a truly loyal following. And this is something that big corporations completely overlook. And I saw this constantly in my time working in the more video game side of reporting, and everyone wanted the I don't know, whatever the big video game streamers are. I don't know, the Swedish kid who lives in Japan now. I don't know, the one who had all the problematic people. They all wanted those big names, but they never really brought anything to the table. But you got those people who had like the 3,000 to 5,000 follower accounts, and they had the passionate followers who wanted to interact and play the games and buy and spend their money. And I really think, like, I doubt anyone from Hasbro is watching this podcast, but if you are, like, I'm not an idiot. I've been working in this industry. You can check out my LinkedIn. It's far more impressive than my IMDb. But seriously, like, I really wish these companies, all companies need to get out of their head that, monetization, yes, we all need to make money to keep something going, but you need to also make the fans happy. And I don't mean like...
It's sustainable money, not just money, much like that. It's... You can make a lot of money real quick, but you're going to hurt people. But if you do it a little less, you get that sustainable money. You build that fan base. It's like, okay, so D&D 4th edition wasn't what I liked, but I still buy it because I love D&D. And, we're going to make do until, the next edition we'll find some fun stuff. You get those people because they did that with 3rd edition to 3.5. Yep. Then 4th edition came out. People bought it. Not everyone loved it. It wasn't for everyone, honestly. It was a little too much of a departure from what they were doing. But they had a lot of loyal people who stayed with it through that and then jumped back in 5th edition, and now they're super happy.
Yep. Yeah, and the beauty of these games is you can always go back to 3rd edition. You can always go back to 3.5. You can always go back to the OG, you know? You
Go to
can
your
play
local
the
game store. Find those
Yeah.
books. Those places
You know-
have used books usually.
Yeah,
get,
play the
get back
game
into
that-
Thaco.
Yeah, I mean,
No. No, don't.
play the game that what's his name, and I know Gary Gygax and Dan Arneson created. I mean, go back and try that for a game.
I've played Chainmail. It's
Yep.
a game.
It's a game. I know.
It's a game.
Yeah, it's a game.
Yeah.
Rip to a real one. Yeah, it's, you know, I don't know. I obviously it's a weird, it's extra weird being in this position to have the thoughts that I've always had about this industry, but now being a player in this industry, but it hasn't changed it, you know? I think
You have a
more
unique
so.
position. You're a player and you own a company, so you can see both sides of this very well.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant by a player being in
Yeah.
the business side. Like I you know, one thing people quickly learn about me is that I don't shy away from controversy. And look, I'm not the most tactful person. Like I obviously want to protect my company, but at the end of the day, I have values, ethics, who knows?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just want a space that everyone can have fun and grow. And like, here's the thing is like, I don't want WotC to shoot themselves in the foot. I don't want
No.
them to do what they always do, because that means D&D goes away again. And I hate when D&D's in the downswing, you know,
Yes.
because it means none of us are having fun or enjoying life, or those of us that make money off of it making money.
Also, the downswing hurts also for any of the games, because we saw that with 40K also, with Games Workshop. The downswing means a lot of other game companies are going to get an influx of people, and they're going to react like this is the new normal, but it's not.
It's not.
Because as soon as the tides change, they're back in the upswing, they're going to abandon.
Yeah.
You know, I warn that of everyone who's big on BattleTech right now. GW is kind of on the downswing. All those people left and went to BattleTech, they're not all going to stay.
Yeah.
You know, D&D, people go to any other... But if, morally speaking, you think what WotC is doing is reprehensible, and I understand that, fair play. You've got to do by your code. Whatever you think is right, you got to live by that. Find another game, play it. If you don't know what game you can play, ask people. Ask us. I know a million games. Gonzo knows a million games. And we'll help you find something that might be what you like. Maybe you'll like it more. Like, honestly, I haven't played D&D since 4th edition. I didn't buy any 5th edition books. I was looking at D&D 1. I'll still look at D&D 1, you know, when it comes out for fantasy. But, you know, I've always been playing other games. And, you know, we'll see what's there. Just take a look. But
there's a lot of good things.
Million.
Like I'm looking at Free League Publishing and everything they're putting out right now. There's a lot of fun stuff, especially if you want a known property, you know?
Yeah. Or just looking, like someone on Twitter was asking for a game. We're like, I want a game where something cool happens when you fail, not just you fail, boring, going to the next thing. I'm like, that's cool. There are games that do that. Let's talk about those. Get on Twitter, get with gaming people, find out the games that are out there that might be more of what you want. You might find your new love. You never know.
Oh, especially.
So true.
Captain Mizzy, I also just catch up on chat. Meredith, Captain Mizzy says she'll bring her copy of Boop because I guess Adepticon doesn't have it, and she'll bring her copy so that way y'all can play it.
Yay!
Maybe teach them a little bit because they probably won't even open it until there. They'll probably be taking the cellophane off whenever they get there. So
Wow,
they'll
shots
go.
fired again. You
Oh, I
understand
know
that,
them.
Captain Missy?
She'll take it. She'll just take it and have to live with it.
I
So
think
we're
we should
gonna
kick him in the shin.
we're gonna go
The
over
shin directly.
to the
Yeah, sorry
media.
about that, Gonzo. I get very passionate about certain topics.
That's fine. We always catch up.
You actually kind of derailed one of my rants, which is good. We became an interesting conversation instead of just John ranting. Because my Twitter feed is full of this, and to say I'm sick of it would be putting a little too fine a point on it. I'm kind of sick of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I want some people to drink some concrete and harden the fuck up, but it is what it is.
Aw.
I understand they're passionate. Look, working for Games Workshop for 9.5 years, many of them was on the phone. People just care more when it's their hobby. You know, I interviewed for another company, and they're like, well, John, we were worried that your reactions to these calls weren't appropriate. I'm like, how do you mean? Well, this person was angry. I'm like, that person did not curse at me once. That person is not actually angry. That person is just concerned. They look at me horrified, like, what? Like, Look, when people work with their hobbies, they will curse at you. They don't mean it. They're angry at the situation, not angry at you. And you get used to it.
Oh
All
my
right,
gosh.
it is
Yeah.
now media section time. John, how many you got tonight?
One,
One. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Meredith, how
life.
many you got?
What was the question again? Sorry, I just
How
read
many
like
how many media things you got you want to talk
I
about?
have 3,
Okay.
but one of them might cross over with you.
Okay, yeah, I think one of them is going. So I'll go ahead and go first, and this will be a quick one. So I brought a stack of RPGs to, my work, and I told people that, send out a team, say, hey, if you would like to, you're more than welcome to come check out the book, take it home, read it, whatever. These are ones that I'm not, reading and stuff. And it was interesting because I have them just sitting on my desk and they're just stacked up, and there's a Transformers RPG. There's a
Yes, there
Power
is.
Rangers RPG, and it says, yes, one of my
by the
good
same
friends.
company even.
Yeah. I'm like, one of my good friends does that, and he role plays with it. He goes, wait, you role play with one of the guys that wrote this? I'm like, yeah, he's a friend of mine. And they're like, what? No,
Did
there's no
Brian
way.
work on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, I know someone who works on that.
Yeah. But I mean, it really got me thinking about, outside of us super geeks, super nerds, we expect all this cool stuff and all these different RPGs and different worlds and different realms. And they were like, I just thought this was just, fantasy, what they see, in the movies, or the stereotype. And I was like, no, I've got an Avatar RPG coming to me. But I was like, wait a minute. There's a Last Airbender RPG coming out. I'm like, yes, I'm waiting for my copies.
I just got a Stargate SG-1 RPG for Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is funny if you remember my opinion of Stargate.
He hates
SG-1.
SG-1.
I don't hate it.
Yeah,
I'm just not really a fan.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But I mean, it was very interesting to see, being in this world for so long and doing it so often. It's nice to see the new people come in and get super excited about this stuff and super excited. And so it's not really like a media thing, but it was a very good epiphany to say, oh my gosh, these people are stupid excited about this. And I mean, I'm bringing these new worlds and new things to them. So it was just a lot of fun and a lot of interesting things. And it was made my geek heart very happy that day when people were coming in and checking out books and reading them. And then they're like, I need to borrow this from tonight. I'm like, okay, go ahead. I'm like, don't care. Just make sure you bring it back whenever, you're done reading it and stuff and everything. So, I mean, it's nice to open up those doors, to best way to put it, to new role players. So, like I said, not a big media thing, but it was there.
Oh, that's cool as hell. That's why we do this, right?
Yeah. Yes, 100%. So no rating on that, just a super heart happy, type thing. Meredith, what's your first one?
BattleBots is back, baby.
Yes. Fuck yeah, bitches.
I wish I was as cool as Farouk and could spit those intros out. But yes, I'm very excited. BattleBots is back. I love BattleBots. I'm very sad Hypershock didn't play in this first round. Hopefully that's not a spoiler, because Hypershock will be there. Hypershock's my boys from Miami. Love them. But it was a good intro episode. Don't want to spoil anything, but there were a lot of hits, a lot of bots getting very messed up, and I'm just happy the season's back. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward. Of course, I always love to see Tombstone, because that guy is the bad boy of thing. But we haven't seen him. We don't know.
I don't know if Tombstone's in this season.
I don't know either.
He didn't do so good last season, so
but
I don't know if
he did make an appearance, so I think he's there. I just we don't.
Okay.
But
yeah, was Ray Billings there? I didn't see him, so
I think he is. I mean, I love seeing his bot on there, because he fucks up bots. He destroys bots with his. I mean, his bot is the simplest, just a big giant hunk of metal spinning and just destroys things. I love BattleBots more than anything. I love not only the science and the geek and the nerd behind it, but there's something about two huge stupid robots just destroying the hell out of each other.
I mean, how do you not love it? I know when Greg's like, can we watch BattleBots? I'm like, fuck. Excuse me. Yes, we can watch BattleBots. So I love BattleBots.
We're full cursing here. Feel free.
Yeah. We do not care.
yeah, but it was really good. It was really good opening season. So I'm looking forward to next week already. I wish we had more.
They did do a different take on how they're doing things, and now usually just they did the pre pairings, but you didn't see who they're paired up against, and now you see who they're paired up against before their next round, so you can see who their four opponents are to see their seeding and ranking in the next bracket. So I'm all cool for it. Ooh, hipster stole my beer. Thanks for the raid, hipsters.
Thanks for the raid, man.
Thanks for the raid. But yeah, I love BattleBots. I love seeing. I mean, I fast forward through some of this stuff because I don't, care about it that much.
Yeah. I don't need the preamble. I like the fights.
I love hearing Farouk because Farouk's
I
sayings
love Farouk.
are just amazing.
He's the best.
A pirate is free. You are a pirate. So, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a blast. I can't wait to see more of it. What do you give it so far your...
Oh, you explained the scale to her? You haven't
Oh,
explained the scale?
Oh, yeah. She knows the scale. You have...
It's gonna get like so we have Cats to Casablanca, right? That's our scale.
One of our scales. Cats being the worst movie ever made. Casablanca being the perfect.
What was the other scale? Cats and Casablanca was the only one that I like. Actually, my brain, stuck on. What was the other scale?
The other one is Space Herpes, based on the 1980 something Ice Pirates. Which you have to watch. You'll have to watch it.
Yeah, I do still watch it. No, I'd give the opening season episode of BattleBots a 2 space herpes.
Okay.
Because it would have gotten a 1 if it had hypershock.
Fair.
Thanks for the follow, hipster stole my beer. John, what's your first one?
My first one, my only one? So I told you, I might have told you, that there's a movie I wanted to watch. It was New Year's themed that I never got a chance to from, in this case, turns out to be from 1995, called Strange Days.
Oh, yes.
It was not streaming anywhere. So I found a copy for my region on Walmart and bought it. 2 days later, it's streaming on HBO Max, of course. Because that's sort of my luck on that. But I did finally watch that, and it's basically Ralph Fiennes, Juliette Lewis, and Angela Bassett, and it's set in the 1999, the New Year's Eve, basically turned to the year 2000, and it's I'll be honest, it's a very simple movie when you get down to it. It's got some interesting parts, some interesting sort of. It's very cyberpunk, actually, considering that it's only set 4 years after the date it was filmed. Filmed in 95, or came out in 95, so filmed in 94, and then released, then set in 2000. But it's got some good cyberpunk sort of ideas with the whole thing where you jack into people's memories, you live them and experience them through this VR headset thing. And it's just basically a mystery conspiracy plot thing. Anyone who's watched enough movies will watch this and immediately figure out the majority of the plot. That's fine. It's still interesting through the whole thing. Not necessarily great. It is rated R and very rated R. I found some of it a bit unsavory, to be honest. It's one of Catherine Bigelow's first movies, and it was written by James Cameron, which I noticed in the credits. I'm like, oh, it's standard James Cameron writing. Solid, but not exceptional. I did enjoy it overall. I think Ralph Fiennes and Angela Bassett both gave great performances. The rest of the cast is fine. Juliette Lewis, apologies to anyone who's a huge fan of hers and never thought she was a great actress. She's fine-ish. But it's enjoyable if you like that sort of cyberpunk theme, sort of more mystery what's going on than action, but it does have some action beats. I gave it 2 space herpes. It's enjoyable. Catch it on HBO Max. You don't necessarily need to buy it. I'm not upset I bought it, but I'm not I was a little disappointed when it came out on streaming afterwards. So worth a watch. Maybe watch it around New Year's so you get that sort of New Year's effect on it. But yeah, not like a go out and must see it now.
And how many space herpes?
I just said 2.
Oh, did you say 2? Sorry, someone came through. I fault. So
Guns doesn't pay attention to me at all.
Womp womp.
So I of course, started watching, everything I can. John is still behind on Willow, and of course, we're not going to spoil it. I think.
I'm gonna try and complete. It's last episode this week, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and get it all. I mean, there's 5 days in this week. I can't possibly have to work 3 of them late. Cannot possibly.
But
Yeah, you say that.
Yeah, no. Well, I have a backup plan. Just need my internet connection to not be shitty. Friday, my internet connection was kind of shitty. You try answering calls with a 7-minute delay in some cases. It's fun.
Oh no.
No, it's not.
No.
Anyways, go on.
So I'm not going to comment on Willow. I think it's gotten better as the episodes have gone on. By the way, I will comment on that once the season is over with. I'll give a final rating, but I'm still caught up on that.
Which will likely next week, but non-spoiler still.
Yes, non-spoiler still. Also, the new episodes of Bad Batch. Okay, I watched the first 2. I'll give it a rating after that. But
Is it Clone Wars?
yeah, it's the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, you're not in it. But I did watch Strange World, which is a Disney movie about.
I gotcha.
Okay,
Yeah.
The one that didn't nearly promote enough.
Yeah, didn't promote it
Yeah.
at all. None. Zero. Zip. Nada. Barely anything on it. And it was just okay. It was just all right. Had some good feel-good stuff in it. Had some good artwork, good animation, good characters, type thing. Nothing huge. It was just a meh type movie. And I can see why they didn't push it because there wasn't much to it. It is a story with an agenda behind it, about working with Mother Nature and so on and so forth. And you see that from the very beginning. And the plot is open, wide as soon as you turn it on. But I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just okay. Not, nothing I would write home. So it gets me, my 2.5 Space Herpy rating because it was just there. There wasn't much behind it.
So it was meh.
Yeah, it hits that meh 2.5 Space Herpy rating.
Ah.
So, Meredith?
So for some reason I thought 1 was highest on Space Herpes, 5 was lowest. So I retract my battle bots. It was a 4 Space Herpes.
Well, 4 is worse.
Oh,
4
no,
is
then
worse.
2. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
2.
Yeah, the higher you go...
2 is like,
Yeah.
it was okay.
Yeah, 2
Yeah.
was great. Okay, cool. So we just finished Andor, and I loved it. I know it's probably controversial. Look, I love Star Wars, but the anything coming out with like the Rogue One and Andor stuff has been my favorite so far. It's so great to see this little facet of the Empire. We talk about Dragonlance. We talk about a story that we know what the heroes do and how they do it. And here we have like just an amazing little like pocket of an episode or of a series. And there is a jailbreak episode that I have to say is just one of my favorite jailbreak episodes of all genres of that. I definitely would give it a 1 Space Herpes. It would get a Casablanca from me. I don't know. I loved Andor. It was good.
I stopped basically when he got sentenced to prison. I realized it was good quality. I had no complaints with the quality. I just wasn't enjoying it, if you understand.
Yeah, no, I get that. And you actually probably missed the best episode of the season was the prison escape one.
It's still there. I can go back and watch
that's
it.
True.
whenever
You
I
can. You
when,
can. Yeah.
When things are on the up,
yeah.
I can watch it.
Yeah.
But when things are down, I don't watch that. And
Yeah.
like I said, the quality was there. I loved the episodes there. It was all like, this is all very good quality. I just was like, it's like it's like The Dark Knight, the movie.
Yeah.
I would never say it's a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. It's a very well crafted. It is a cinematically is a good movie. I just don't fucking enjoy it.
That's fair.
I watch it. I'm like, this is negative as fuck. It's not what I want to see.
Yeah. And for me, like where I am right now in my life, what I was looking for from a Star Wars thing, Andor ticked those boxes for me. In a way that Obi-Wan, I gave up on Obi-Wan. So.
I think Obi-Wan ended okay. And actually, if you want to give it another chance,
okay.
There is a YouTuber who does. She's a professional fight choreographer. Fight participant. She does that stage fighting. I'll try to remember her name while I'm looking through this thing here. She does an overview of it that I'm not sure if everything she sees there is intentional, but if she is, it's fucking amazing.
Okay, that's
It
cool.
ends a lot stronger than it starts.
Oh, good.
But
Because
I have
I
to
feel
find.
like with Obi-Wan, just I wanted the young Leia show is actually what I wanted from it. So
Oh, you, I'll agree with that still, even with what I said. I mean,
yeah.
I was Gonzo will tell you there was an episode like the second episode of I was like I ripped that one a new one because it was not good.
Hmm.
Because like it was some episodes they were a little lazy on it, but I think they kind of stuck the landing. And I've mentioned in the past that I think that sticking the landing helps media way more than not.
Yeah,
Like you
that's
could have the
good.
best beginning ever,
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, which I haven't watched but I've heard, and then just shit on the landing, and people just look at you as terrible.
Yeah.
But if you like mediocre through the beginning and raise up, and then you stick the landing, something like Thor: Love and Thunder,
Hmm.
people will look more favorably on you.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, I'll give it another shot then.
Yeah, but I'll find that and let you know. I'm trying to remember her name. I may be slightly drunk and not able to think properly.
It's fine. That's what Twitter's for.
John, do you want to go next, or you want to hold off on yours until I go through a couple more of mine?
Well, I had one,
I
and
thought
I
you had
gave you
two.
one, so I think mathematically I'm done.
Oh, fine. Whatever.
I'm the drunk one, for Christ's sakes.
So, a while back, I tried watching this show and I couldn't get into it, and so I put it on hold. And I guess the series finale just finished, and I started watching his Dark Material. It's on HBO Max. It's based off of what the Americans got as the Golden Compass, and it's season 1, 2, and 3. So each season is one of the books. And it's built as this girl is supposed to be the savior of the world. She's going to do everything. She's going to save, get all these prophecies going on, and she's going to be the hero of the world. I'm like, okay, I'm all behind this. I got it. I like this. The world they're in is kind of a steampunky type world. Cool. It's got magic. Cool. Season 1 was really boring. It was very, very slow. I was not happy with it. I would give it a meh for seasons. I was not happy. I'm not going to spoil it because the season just ended. So, I'm not going to spoil the ending. But if you build the character as the savior of the world, she better be the fucking savior of the world, or you're just ruining the entire story for me. And that's what happened. And so when I was watching it, season 1 was just meh. Season 2, I really liked. I thought it was great. I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting. Season 3, first half, really good. Second half, I thought it was, or I should say the last 2 episodes were crap, in my opinion. And I was really upset with it because they build it as this, XYZ story, and this person's supposed to do XYZ to save the world, and it just, it didn't go that way. And the thing is, I get it if it was not supposed to go that way, and it was part of the story, but don't give me 2.5 seasons of this character supposed to save the world, and you shit all over the story. And so I was not happy with it. Season 2, really good. I'd say probably like a 1. Season 3, everything up to the last 2 episodes were pretty good. Sets, costumes, all of that, acting, no problem. There was quite a bit of green screen in some of it later on in the end, but I get it because of what they were showing. But I mean, overall, it really wasn't, production-wise, not an issue. Character-wise, not an issue. Story just fell flat at the end. And fell flat to I was like, I just really don't even care. I didn't even care. I was like, I was like, okay, if I don't see the rest of it, I'm okay with that. Because I was not, and it was still kind of, I actually had to go and Google some of the information to make sure, to figure out what I saw was what was happening and how it was, to get the full understanding, because it just wasn't there. So I was kind of disappointed in it. I say overall, the entire series, probably 2.5 to 3 space herpes, because it was a letdown. And I was really upset about that, because it's a really cool story. It's a really cool world. It deals with the multiverse, and there are some good jabs at religion and poking fun at this stuff and poking holes in it. And I was like, I don't want it. I want to be immersed in this, and I was immersed into it until the very end. And then until the very end, just totally screwed me over. And I was like, nah, fuck it, I'm done.
Not sticking the landing.
No,
Yep,
did
that's
not.
exactly.
Did not stick the
Oh,
landing
that's
at all.
a shame.
And I was so upset about that too.
Shame.
Because I actually started over at season 1 and started at the very, very first episode because I knew I'd missed a few. You know, it had been a while, but it was just bad. I was not happy about it. Meredith, your go.
So, Netflix released an interesting new heist concept called Kaleidoscope. It stars Giancarlo Esposito, who I absolutely love from Breaking Bad, and then also in the show, Tati Gabrielle, who was Prudence in Sabrina, the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. She plays a pretty major character. But the interesting thing about Kaleidoscope, what Netflix is doing is that everyone who watches it is getting it released in a different order, with the exception of the episode White. So they're all dubbed colors: yellow, violet, red, green. White's the final episode that you should watch. We started off with yellow. I'm glad we did, because that seems like a good introduction. Like, I think they should force people to start with yellow, because that's kind of sets the whole story. And then we ended up with green and then violet. And it's interesting because it's telling different time periods of these characters, of how they meet, how they get together, why this heist means something, what happens after the heist. And it's pretty ambitious. I don't know if it's a good ambition yet. The series overall, though, I've really enjoyed. If nothing else, like I said, Giancarlo's performance is out of this world. It might be, I didn't think anything could top him as Gus Fring, and he is. He's just proven to be a real powerhouse. But I love a good heist, and I do like what Netflix is doing with this, and they've got a pretty powerful cast. So really digging it.
I started episode 1 and I'm halfway through episode 2. I don't know what color I'm on because it's all random.
Exactly.
You don't know. You don't know what
Yeah.
color you're going to get or which one you're going to go with. But from what I understand, everybody says that it's not hard to follow, even no matter what pattern you get.
Yeah.
Which I'm good with, because if this is something that it would be hard to follow, you would be really pissed off with this show.
Right.
There is I did look it up, and there is a linear color stream that you can watch it in, so you can get a
interesting.
linear pattern to the story. But just like you, I love a good heist movie. Ocean's 11, et cetera, et cetera. I love good heists type stuff. I think it's amazing. The characters are good. Like I said, I'm only at episode 1.5 episodes in, so gonna have to watch it. I'm liking it so far. Characters are good. Story's good. The reasoning behind it is good. I think this is something that it's either going to make it or break it type thing with this random episodes, and making it where not going to feel like you're lost when you watch something. Because when you watch a movie, you're like point A to point B type thing.
You mean like my problem with Witcher season 1?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Too many time jumps.
A lot of shows that season decided to do weird time skips like that, and that's at least I'll tell you this with Kaleidoscope, it's not a gimmick. It's not trying to purposely make you think you're watching something at a different time period. I think it's an interesting thing that I hope other shows don't copy, because I think it works specifically in this world that they've done.
Yeah,
I'm fine as long as they're clear about the time frame. But when you obfuscate it, that becomes like, because then you're like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, you can definitely tell when there's a time jump or there's different, because the characters dress and act different, and hairstyles, and you were able to tell that right off the bat.
Yeah, it's more about there's an underlying plot line of that there is obviously someone who is a mole in all of this, and trying to figure out who is the person that's screwing over the team. Is kind of like the gimmick fun thing, and that's why they want people to talk about it. Like, well, like on episode Green, I saw this, so I think so and so is the mole, or stuff like that. So
I think it's got potential. It's not great so far for me, because I'm only in episode 1.5 in, so I've got to wait. But I'm interested enough because I love a good heist movie. Mm-hmm. So I'll go with you on that. That was one of the ones I'm going to talk about. My last one really is, it's on Disney Plus also, and it is a Bollywood movie called Brahmastra, and it is a superhero Bollywood movie. Pretty much, it is going to be like their Infinity Gauntlet, the best way to put it. The people grow up and they have special powers, but some of them don't know they have special powers. But there's a secret organization of people that have superpowers, and they got to do all these super powerful, cool things. And of course, being a Bollywood movie, you've got some of the worst breaks of reality and physics. Physics is nowhere in this at all.
Yeah, but it's refreshing sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's a
I
good
love
change
it,
of pace.
actually.
Yes, and with this is definitely a good change of pace. It is dubbed in English, so if you need that, you're good with it. You do have a subtitled version if you like, but I enjoyed it. It was kind of fun. It was over the top crazy. The special effects were top notch in this. I thought it was really, really good. Whoever they hired to make sure they got good special effects with the fire and everything. I mean, you can tell it. I mean, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it was above standard special effects. I was really, really impressed. Now, episode 2 is not going to come out for another year and a half. So I'm like, shit, type thing.
Well,
But-
now I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a superhero show where people gain superhero powers that they can do cool things, and of course they're trying to stop this main bad guy from coming back from whatever type stuff. It does have your standard, Bollywood music and dance and so on and so forth, which I enjoy. I love that stuff in there. It fits. It's neat. It's their thing. So you expect it. But I mean, it was a good, fun watch. Better than a poke in the eye with a stick, and better than Strange Worlds. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, this was pretty good. You can tell they put a lot of effort into this and put a lot of good special effects into it. But like I said, it's their big superhero push type thing, and so I enjoyed it. I thought it was good fun. And you can pause it and watch it because it's actually a pretty long. I think it's almost 3 hours type thing.
Nice.
So, you may have to watch it in spurts, but I enjoyed it. I would give it probably 1 space herpy. Just because, if you're not into Bollywood stuff, you're just going to be like, yeah, this is stupid. But I mean, if you understand Bollywood, type movies and superhero stuff, you'll be like, all right, this is not too bad. This is
Yeah,
pretty decent.
I love Bollywood movies, so I will definitely check this out. Yeah, this actually looks really fun.
Yeah. If you like Bollywood, what's the other one that I watched? And all 3 of them are out there. Oh man, what was the other one? And it's like way over the top Bollywood stuff. Oh gosh.
As I know, what's his current name? Hail Boop made me watch Sing Him before, and that was
Oh,
amazing.
Yeah.
Sing Him was, I'm like, enjoyable.
I'm a big fan. I will watch every year Mine Who Na. It's about a undercover detective going into high school, and he ends up having a romance with one of the other teachers. It's really cute. The songs are really catchy.
That's cool.
I can't remember it, but it's a big superhero. It's a big movie that has like 3 into it, and it's got a ton of over the top. Bahumari or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up.
Bahubali? That's what Captain Mizzy said in chat.
Is it? Yes, it's something like that. It's on there, and it's got all 3 episodes on. I think it's on Netflix, or maybe
apparently
Amazon Prime.
What genre is it?
It's a story about one of their heritage type stuff.
Is that the same actor playing 2 roles?
No, but it is Bahubali. Bahubali is what it's called.
Okay, cool.
The beginning is the first one, and it was really, really good. I was like, fuck yeah, I could get into this.
Nice.
Yeah, there's.
I think I've seen some clips from this. It was pretty.
Yeah.
They're all pretty like out of context. You're like, wow, that is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But the important thing in a movie is if you're still in it when that shit happens in the movie, because that's all that matters. When you watch it from the beginning to the end, if you're in it the whole time, then they've done their job.
Oh yeah, you watch this and you're like, holy fucking shit! Some 12-year-old that is all off of his ADH meds, eating Pop Rocks and Jolt Cola, wrote some of this action scene, and you're like, I'm all fucking in.
Wait, are you talking about Batman Ninja again? Meredith, have you seen Batman Ninja?
Yes.
Okay. Like, it must be seen. Like I say that.
I've seen it.
I don't care if you think it's good or bad.
I've
must
seen
be
it.
seen, and you
I've
must
seen
decide
it.
how much cocaine they gave the writers to make that.
I've seen it. I don't know if I can even express a judgment on it because it surpasses the Star Wars Christmas special in so many ways.
I find it more watchable, but that's fair.
It exists. Someone made that, and it exists.
So, but, well, guys, we appreciate you being on the air with us, hanging out with us. Meredith, of course, we appreciate you coming on and having a good time with us. It was a lot of fun. Guys, we are going to send you off to the painting dad tonight. So stick around. Make sure you give him a follow and a like and all that stuff. He's kind of just starting out. And give him, I think he's painting up some Star Wars miniatures, by the way, when I last checked on it. Guys, please be careful. Please look after each other. Please, please, please make sure that you're healthy and safe. And if anything, we will see you. I will definitely see you at Adepticon if you're going to be there. For More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Meredith.
Good night.
Time to suffer up.
Time to go medicate cats.